can all get started. It's 5 o'clock. My name is Mark Herring. I'm the editor-in-chief of Technician. We have our panel ready, so if all the candidates can go up there. I'll explain the rules real quick. We only have an hour in this room, so we're going to try to keep this flowing. Also, for recording purposes, we're doing this on Wolf TV. So when you answer, just remember to put the microphone close to your mouth. It's not projecting in the room, but it's going through the board for our camera here. I'm Mark Herring. I'm the editor-in-chief of Technician, and I'm here with Ahmed Amr. He's the Viewpoint editor. He will be tweeting, live tweeting the forum, the discussions. So this is how everything's going to work. We will let each candidate give a 2-minute introduction, talk about themselves, talk about platforms. We're going to go through about 10 questions. We'll give you everyone will have the same questions, and we'll give each of you 45 seconds to respond to the questions. And we're just going to keep it rolling. So what we'll start with Matt, then we'll go Lauren, and then we'll go Dwayne, and then we'll go Lauren, Dwayne, Matt, and we're just going to cycle through like that. Then we have a few trivia questions, university trivia, some of that sort of stuff. Just, I don't know, keep it light and fun. And then we will, if we do have the time, we'll open up the floor for people in the audience to pose a few questions for all the candidates. And we'll wrap it up with a 1-minute outro. So you'll be able to wrap up and tell everyone, what you want to do. So I guess we can get started. So we'll start with you, Matthew. You have 2 minutes, and I will warn you when you have 30 seconds left, and I'll stop you when the time is out. So let me get my timer ready. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Matthew Williams. I'm a junior here at NC State, of course, in history, transferring to political science. I am a Wolfpack family guy. I am a legacy student. 5 members of my family have attended the university, and hopefully my little cousin will get his big envelope sometime soon, and he can attend the university next year as well. I'm actually a transfer student here to NC State. Excuse me. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and my senior year at high school, as a legacy student, I just wanted to be my own man, because I know I'm going to be in Raleigh for the rest of my life. I just love it too much here. So I decided to go to North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro. But once I got there, I realized it just wasn't for me. When you bleed Wolfpack red, the heart wants what the heart wants. So I transferred back here to NC State University, and have been happy over the moon ever since. Our platform is all about students first. Our team has worked really hard pretty much since December on getting everything together, getting that research out there, talking to the necessary students, talking to everyone, trying to figure out what they don't like about the university, what they'd like to see improved, and that's our message. Our message is improving NC State through innovation and collaboration. We want to increase the communication between students and between student organizations. We want to increase the collaboration between those as well.
You have 30 seconds.
Cool. And we want to make sure that everyone is being heard, and we want to make sure that everyone knows those people who are making the decisions, and making sure that they feel like they've had a voice in those decisions, because we're all here at NC State, students first always. Thank you.
Great. Lauren, you can start now.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lauren Collier. I am currently a junior here at NC State. I'm studying animal science, criminology, and parks, recreation, and tourism management. I chose NC State my junior year of high school. I came to visit my older sister, who is currently studying computer engineering here at NC State. I'll be honest, I was a Florida fan. I was going to go Gators all the way until I came and spent my spring break junior year with her, and I fell in love with the campus and never turned back. I actually went home and told my mom to go send everything back. We were going to buy red stuff, hence my jacket. So that's what we did. And ever since my freshman year here, I've been super involved on campus. I'm currently serving as the Union Activities Board President. In that position, I oversee the 6 programming committees as well as a very large budget. My experience this past year has been phenomenal. I know that the connections that I've made through the student organizations, through the administration, through faculty and staff, as well as my experience as a student here at NC State, has made me more than qualified to be your student body president next year. My platform, every single point on it, I know because it's from my heart. It's not lengthy, it's not extravagant, and I know that it's completely feasible. It's realistic. Everything on there is something that either I have experienced or I've seen my friends experience firsthand. And we're focusing on social, leadership, academic, and movement on various issues. Since the beginning of the campaign, we've listened to students and we've added on to things that students have brought to my concern, and I know that I can address them. I already have solutions in place, and I've already talked to the people necessary to make those solutions become realities.
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you. I forgot to mention I'm from Charlotte, originally from Florida. Yeah, so Charlotte. Forgot to mention that. And overall, I just really want to be student body president. I thought about it last year, but saw there were some things in UAB that I wanted to change and implement first, and I've been successful in doing so. So I'd like to take the reins a little bit higher next year, and I hope that you will vote for me. Thank you.
All right, Dwayne, whenever you're ready.
Hope everyone's having a good day so far. My name is Dwayne O'Rear. I am a junior majoring in business administration, concentrating in finance from Charlotte, North Carolina. Immediately when I came to NC State, I wanted to get involved. Within 2 weeks of living in Owen Hall, I was elected Owen Hall Council President. I worked with my council members to ensure an integrated living community and a strong living community within Owen. And toward the end of my freshman year, I was looking to take it to the next level. I remember that my peer mentor, Reginald Parks, introduced me to Chandler Thompson toward the end of my freshman year. She informed me that she was running for student body president, and I asked her if I could be a part of her campaign. She said yes, and she won, and she appointed me to the Senate liaison to the executive branch, which is a position I still hold under current student body president Andy Walsh. For the past 2.5 years, I've worked directly with students and directly with faculty and directly with staff to ensure a good living community for students and a great university. I love NC State with all my heart, and I want to stay involved no matter what. As student body president next year, it would be my main goal to make sure that students come first. Students, in my mind, are the wolves in the pack. We, as students, should have a say in what goes on here at this university. And as student body president, I would be sure to be your advocate to make sure that that happens. Thank you.
All right, great. So we'll start off with our first question. Ahmed, do you want to read it out?
This question was in the In Your Words section today in the newspaper from Makeda Bell. She is a freshman in communication. She wants to know how each of you are going to connect with students, faculty, and staff on campus.
All right, we'll start with that.
So the communication is what our platform is all about. One of the big things that I would like to see happen would be a universal website instituted on campus. So students always know what's going on. They can blog, they can post in forums. I don't know if anyone's a fan of current students on Facebook, but not everyone has a Facebook, so they're not able to get those questions and concerns out there. I would be active in the Facebook group. I'd be active on the universal website, as well as making sure administrators are using that website as well, so they'd be able to answer those questions. I'd also like to start Lunch with the Leaders. It's a chance to get all student leaders out there in a less intimidating situation, so students will be able to eat lunch and also meet the leaders of all these different organizations here on campus.
I'm going to have to stop you there.
Okay.
All right, great. Lauren, you ready?
All right, so I would increase communication and interaction with students first by maintaining my current visibility on campus. Currently, I eat in the dining halls. I'm always on campus. I practically sleep in my office. I post frequently online. I send out weekly email reminders. I try to keep students informed, and most importantly, which is the most powerful form of communication, is word of mouth and talking to students directly. I think that I've done a great job of doing that this year. At least any student that I've come across, I try to make sure that I meet their needs and just listen to their voices. I would also connect with faculty and staff in the same way. I've already started talking to some of our staff members in university dining and even people who aren't always connected or thought about on NC State's campus to see what, as well as making sure that students have the interaction that they need with the faculty and administration here on campus.
I'm going to have to stop you there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Dwayne.
Can you repeat the question for me, please?
The question is, how are you going to connect students, faculty, and staff on campus?
As student body president, it would be my main goal to connect students on campus through communication by increasing the communication among student organizations here on campus. Next year, several student organizations are merging, CSLEPS, Student Government, UAB, and forming one. And we are currently looking for a new director of student involvement to come in and head all of this up. As student body president, I would be sure to work directly with the director of student involvement to ensure that all students' voices are heard and that communication is collaborated effectively between several different student organizations and students not involved in organizations.
Great, thanks. The next question comes from Elizabeth Dimsdale. She's a sophomore in accounting, and she answered the In Your Words question in Technician today. The question is, what is your main goal for the 2013-2014 school year? And we'll start with you, Lauren.
My main goal for the school year next year is to actually implement the job of student body president. I've read through the student body constitution, and I understand that the job is to represent students, advocate students, and basically be students' #1 fan. My job is not to create new programs on campus, but to empower students, faculty, staff, and administration already in those department services and programs to do their jobs and to do them better than they're currently doing them.
All right, great. Dwayne?
Yes, my main goal as student body president next year would be to effectively work with current administrators to ensure that students' voices, thoughts, and opinions are heard. As student body president, I would be the mouthpiece of the Wolfpack, and I would try and work really hard with administrators to make sure that students' voices, thoughts, and opinions are understood when making administrative decisions.
All right. And you, Matthew?
My main goal will really be just to increase that communication between students and administrators. We have to make sure that students always know where they can go for information. We have to make sure that they never feel like they're left out. By working in student government this past year as chair of the Traditions Commission and working on the BRIC, we've really tried to get that message out there for the TK program. As student body president, communication and collaboration is that biggest thing. Students like big events. There's nothing wrong with new programming if you're doing it right. If students are working together and collaborating in groups, they can get things done here on campus. And I think just by making sure we're setting that foundation for good work between organizations, the future is endless. There's so many things that can happen here on campus. So I really just want to increase that communication and collaboration.
Great. All right. Next question.
Again, this is for all of you. What change do you want to bring to campus?
We'll start with Dwayne first.
I would definitely say it's the third bullet point of my platform. I would like to see a revamping of campus landscaping. What I mean by that is more green and more red. I would like to see campus more beautified, and I would like to see it become more beautiful. And I feel like us as students, our spirits would be uplifted here at NC State if we had a gorgeous campus that we actually liked coming to and going to class at. And I feel that with new campus landscaping, more red, more green, it would make campus look more beautiful. And that is one change that I think would be feasible as student body president to make.
All right. Christian?
I would really like to see an increased amount of collaboration here on campus. We have to get groups working together. As student body president, I'd be the facilitator. We have 2 event coordinators on staff. We have 2 communications experts on staff. We need to make sure those people are there for students. We have to make sure that they're at their disposal. By getting groups to work together, there's just so much that can be done. There's so much lacking in the breaking of communication here on campus. So if we can increase that collaboration, again, we can't be stopped. Groups often put on the same programs with little participation because they've either gone to the other one or they're just not feeling this one. If we can get groups to work together, we can make those programs bigger, we can make them better, and we can get more students active on campus.
I'm going to have to stop you there. All right, cool. All right, Lauren?
The #1 change that I would like to see next year is basically just a new perspective, a fresh insight to things that we're already doing on campus and how we can make them better. I'd really like to advocate for our minority groups on campus and even some of the majority. Commuter students are the biggest population of students on campus, yet there seems to only be a focus on first-year on-campus students and the programs that service them. So I'd like to raise awareness and really bring some perspective to some of our minority groups of students on campus, as well as better ways that we can address the largest population of students here and some of the services and programs that we can offer them, and maybe just bring a new perspective to SGA and to the administration that they probably haven't heard because I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
Wonderful. Thank you. This next question is, what experience do you have that will allow you to be successful as student body president? We'll start with you first, Matt.
Well, I currently am the chair of the Traditions Commission in student government and the executive branch. Last year I served as a first-year senator, and I served in the Traditions Commission. And what those positions have allowed me to do is really learn how student government works and how student government functions. Our organization isn't one that you can just read about and know how it works. You have to have experience with it. And with the new director position, our advisor may actually get promoted and leave. We're going to need someone there who can actually knows what's going on, because she may not be there in that backbone of the organization. I've also served as an RA. I know how to program. I know how to get students involved. I was the Kathleen Rupie Award winner last year for Central Campus because of my programs. I've been effective here on campus.
All right, there we go. Sorry. All right, Lauren.
I can't think of one thing or one experience that I've had in the past 3 years here at NC State that doesn't make me qualified to be student body president. I think that obviously you don't have to be in an organization to know how to run it, since we bring in outside people to our institution all the time for upper level administration positions. And I think that my experience as UAB president, as well as president of some student groups on campus, as well as a member just of the Wolfpack, as a peer, as a student here on campus who has experienced just everyday life here at NC State, makes me qualified to advocate for students, to advocate on their behalf, to be their biggest fan, and to make sure that I accurately represent the students and their needs all the time. Even students that I don't know that are strangers to me, I'm willing to listen to them and to advocate for them and be their representative, which is the job of student body president.
Wonderful. All right, Leland.
Working with Chandler Thompson my sophomore year on her cabinet, and working with Andy Walsh this past year has allowed me to see how to effectively delegate between student organizations, and has given me firsthand experience in how to properly be a student body president, which is, in my opinion, an advocate for all students. And seeing how they have done that and seeing the work ethic they have displayed has allowed me to see how to effectively be a student body president. And being on the football team sophomore year, learning how to be a team member, being a community assistant in Bergal Hall, and working for University Recreation since I first stepped foot on this campus has allowed me to plug in with several different student groups in several different areas on campus, and has allowed me to gain valuable experience and insight into how I can properly be student body president and be an advocate for all students.
Great. Ahmed, do you want to do the next question?
What experience and expertise do you offer that you think your competition does not?
We'll start with Lauren.
One of the biggest experience probably is working with large budgets. And I know that that's not necessarily something that student body president needs to do, but that experience in working with just student fees in general, sometimes being criticized of them, working under pressure, dealing with controversy, being in the media, being under kind of the hot lamp all the time is something that student body president deals with all the time. People are always going to get things wrong, spell your name wrong, but it's one of those experiences that I think that I've had that I can deal with, and also just not being afraid to really let people know what I'm thinking and to speak up about the issues that people are sometimes scared to dig deep about that are happening here on campus.
Great, thank you. And Glenn?
I would say that the skills and expertise that set me apart from my opponents is mainly the fact that I've been in the executive branch of student government longer than either of them, and I have seen how to properly delegate and effectively delegate between Chandler Thompson and Andy Walsh, and I know what it takes to be a student body president, and I firmly believe with the example that they have set to me that I can be a great student body president.
I'd like to first say that I may have not had a leadership position in the executive branch last year, but I was a member of the Traditions Commission serving in the executive branch the same amount of time. But something that does set me apart is the fact that I have a great team behind me. I know I'll be able to put together a diverse team of individuals that would be able to be really effective here on campus. Just the support that's grown behind me, I know the type of team I'd be able to put together. I know the type of people that would apply. And the fact that I've worked really closely with the administrators this year. As the university special events intern, I've had a chance to mingle with these individuals and to work with them closely on numerous projects this year, and I know they have a students first mentality. I mean, a lot of them were on first name basis, which is pretty cool when the chancellor calls you Matt. But it's been an amazing experience this year.
All right. Now, the next question is about ASG. How will you amend ties with the ASG, the Association for Student Governments, and how will you use it to represent the student voice at the Board of Governors? We'll start with you, Glenn.
That's an excellent question. These past 2 years I've been in student government, I've realized, it's come to my realization that ASG isn't being used like it should be. And as student body president, I would first and foremost, if I'm elected, get in contact with all the other student body presidents at all the other schools, 16 schools in the UNC system. And I would effectively try and come up with a strategy to effectively work with ASG to lobby the Board of Governors to see stuff get done for our great state, North Carolina.
Thank you.
One thing I would do is make sure I'm there. And if I can't be there, making sure I have a representative there with a flip cam so I know exactly what's going on there. I think it's all about working with them to better themselves so they can help represent all of our universities. For instance, their website right now doesn't work, and it hasn't worked for a long time, and it's really frustrating. So we have to work with them to build up their organization so they can represent our students. Our students are paying them a fee, and they expect to be represented. So by working with them to better their communication efforts, we can work with them on other collaboration efforts. And I think it's just about being there, letting them know who you are, and really getting down to what we need to focus on as students so we can communicate that out to everyone and to the Board of Governors.
Great.
You almost took my answer there. I'm gonna agree with Matt. I was gonna say visibility and making sure that if you're not there, that you have a representative there, and ultimately that communication piece and just really seeing where the concerns are from NC State as well as the other institutions, because you're more effective when you can communicate those concerns as a group. And if you can see where you're overlapping and how you can help each other's institutions out, it'll ultimately make you a stronger association.
Wonderful. Next question is about campus administration. What's your biggest criticism and how do you want to improve it? Yep, you know.
I would have to say their communication out to students. Like I've said, I've worked with a lot of them this year, and they do have students first mentality. They are working for students every single day, but they're not doing the best job on communicating that effort out to students. There are a lot of committees out there, there are a lot of boards out there that have student positions, or they have open student forums, and they may post it here, post it there, but that's not where the students are. I would like to see them improve their communication by working with student leaders, by getting out there and making sure they have students on those boards to fill those positions, by making sure the students understand exactly where they're coming from, which is something I think we can achieve with our universal website and having features on those administrators, having them directly answer student questions.
I'm going to have to stop you there.
My biggest criticism would be that they don't understand students and the different student experience that each student has here at NC State. We see the student leaders, and some of us may be on first name basis with them, but we have a completely different experience than a student who, say, just goes to class, goes to eat, and goes back to their room. And I think that they don't understand the uninvolved student experience, the involved student experience, and then how even those within those communities differ. And they just really need to understand that students not all want to be involved, and the ones that are involved may have they don't understand how their organization works. So I understand that they all have the students' interests at heart, but sometimes those interests are different, and we can't force them to be the same thing.
Great.
I would say that my biggest criticism of administrators this past year and since I've been here at NC State is the lack of communication between administrators and students. And I wouldn't so much as call it a criticism, but I would just like to call it a critique. I would like to see them critique and maybe become better communicators and become more visible to students. And as student body president, I would be sure to try and work with them to try and find solutions to this problem, maybe attending an event with me or maybe walking through the Brickyard once or twice a week, and just really maintaining visibility and allowing students to see that they are receptive to students' needs.
Again, this is for everyone. In the past, Technician has asked administration and student government to be boldly honest and transparent about their shortcomings. Do you have any ideas on how to more effectively communicate these sorts of problems with the student body?
Yes.
I think that social media is great, and through my experiences with UAB, we found that, like Matt said, not everyone has a Facebook, a Twitter. Not everyone likes getting online as much as we all like to troll around online. Not everyone likes that. And sometimes, like I said, the best thing is just word of mouth and making sure that you're holding those forms and making sure that you're communicating with students directly. But also, paper seems to work. I know we all want to be sustainable, but wherever necessary, just making sure that students can actually see what's going on. And it's hard to articulate where these structures are changing, where they're being broken down into, and how things are changing. Sometimes you just need a flow chart. Students just need to see what's going on, as well as explaining it to them verbally.
Great.
As Lauren made a great point, most students don't have social media. Not everyone has a Twitter or Facebook, but every student at NC State has an NCSU email account. And me being a student, receiving the How emails from Andy, it allowed me to be up to speed and understanding what was going on here at NC State. And I think it would be a really cool thing if administrators could send out similar emails about similar events and similar functions. And that way it would allow students to see that they are being receptive to students' needs by letting students know what all is going on and allowing a channel back for students to give feedback to them on various issues. So I'll definitely say utilizing email as an administrator next year, working with administrators to make sure that they utilize email to reach out to students.
Thank you. And Matt?
I think one thing with working with administrators and student government to pretty much get those shortcomings out there is just to, first of all, change the mentality of a shortcoming. It's nothing bad. It's something that we didn't do that well. We need to get it out there so we can critique, so we can fix it. So a way to do that, I think, is we got to get innovative here. Something that we would like to do, we call Wolfpack Weekly Update. I mean, even if I got to get out there and dance around in a chicken costume, let it kind of go viral a little bit. That's a way we can get administrators out there in a new light. Emails are good, but a lot of people ignore them. Getting online necessarily isn't the best thing to do. So what we need to do is really work with them to get that message out there. And first of all, just to admit that it's a shortcoming. We can fix it. The students need to know.
Thank you. All right. Our next question is about some news that came out today. Governor Pat McCrory announced a budget cut in the UNC system, $135 million to the UNC system. What will be the student body president's role in addressing these sorts of budget cuts? We'll start with Lauren.
I believe that as student body president next year, working with ASG will be vital to reaching the Board of Governors. And students have a voice, and we all have an opinion. And as student body president, I believe it is the student body president's role to pick up on that and to properly relay that to the proper administrators and authorities so that changes can be made. As far as budget cuts go, I understand that money and tuition and fees are always an issue in the student's mind. And as student body president, I believe that it is imperative that we all come together with other student body presidents in the UNC system through ASG to effectively reach the Board of Governors to let them know that we as students have an opinion and have a say in what goes on here in our great state.
Thank you. Yes, you, Matt?
I say the first thing is just making sure students know what's going on. They have to know about these cuts. They have to know how they're going to affect them, and they have to know what we're doing. I have no problem with the mentality of starting from the bottom and working my way up to the top. The students are unfortunately on the bottom of the food chain when it comes to how these decisions are made. But what we have to do is make sure they know what's going on so they can properly let me know how to advocate their needs. Of course, they want lower tuition and fees, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. We have to work to make sure that the increases are the least as possible, because out of all of our peer institutions, we have the third lowest tuition. We're still working to make sure students know what's going on. And by making sure they have been communicated to appropriately, we can work to get that message back up to the Board of Governors, to the Board of Trustees.
Thank you. Lauren?
I have to agree yet again that letting students know is ultimately the student body president's job to communicate that message. Through the board of directors now, we're actually going to be launching Student Center's board of directors are going to be launching a fees awareness campaign, because a lot of students aren't even aware of their student fees right now. So I think ultimately when it comes to large budget cuts in the millions that truly affect our institution, it's important to let students know, but it's also important to let everyone else know who's affected by it on campus. Because those things don't just affect students, they affect our whole student body, our whole community, our faculty, staff, and administration, and those people, they reflect back on students. And if they're not happy and having to lose jobs and restructure, it impacts students as well.
Great. And we have one final question before we go into our trivia round. We'd like to know, how will you be able to balance being student body president and also balance being a student? So we'll start with you, Matt.
I have to say that it will definitely be a struggle. Classes are hard. Being student body president is hard, but I think the passion is what drives you. My love for NC State is the love I have for my family. They intertwine with us. I don't want to fail NC State and in turn fail my family. I'm going to make sure I put in the work. I'm going to talk to my advisor every day. I'm going to talk to the SG advisor every day. I pretty much already do. I'm going to make sure they know what's going on. It's all about staying organized. It's all about planning everything out to make sure nothing is overlapping. And most importantly, it's about delegating. As student body president, you can't do it all by yourself. You have a team of a lot of people. We have multiple commissions. Again, we have our communications people. We have our, okay,
Great.
Well, luckily for me, I'm pretty much done with my major. Actually, the only reason I'm studying PRTM is because I needed something to fill my time here. I didn't want to graduate early because I love state so much. So I won't have that heavy of a class load next year. I've been able to effectively super manage my time this year as UAB president. I wasn't expecting to be this busy as UAB president, and I got a quick reality check. So I think that my experiences this year will be able to let me to effectively manage my time as student body president next year. Classes they shouldn't be a problem. You never know if a philosophy sneaks up on you or something like that. And as far as personal life, all of that's already been squared away, and I'm prepared for the mental, physical, emotional, all of that, the challenge of being SVP.
Great. Thank you.
My sophomore year here at NC State, a year and a half ago, I was on the NC State Wolfpack football team, practicing every single day. I was on Chandler Thompson's executive cabinet, and I worked full-time for University Recreation. And I have always been subject to high-stress environments, and I actually prefer high-stress environments because it allows me to become a better person and allows me to effectively see how I can make others better. And as student body president next year, balancing student body president with a full course load, I believe will be hard and it will be challenging. But based off past experiences and the example that past leaders have set for me, will allow me to effectively delegate and effectively be student body president along with being a full-time student.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to start our trivia questions. We're going to start with hard ones first, and then we'll go with the easy ones. We'll start at Matt, and then Lauren, and Dwayne. And you will all have 3 questions. So this one is for you, Matt.
Okay.
All right, who is the president of the UNC school system, the UNC university system?
That'd be Dr. Tom Ross.
That is correct. All right, this one is for you, Lauren. Who is the chairman of the board of governors of the UNC system?
Nope, Barbara Mulkey is the board of trustees. I do not know that answer. I'd like to find out.
Peter Hans. And who is the student body president of University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill?
The current or the one that was just
The elected, yeah.
Christy McLam.
Hold on one second, is that?
It's either Christy McLam or Will Niemanstall.
You got it.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got it. All right, this one is for you, Matt. Who is the Associate Vice Chancellor for Facilities Operations?
That'd be Sir Kevin McNaughton, if I'm not mistaken.
It is Jack Colby.
Okay.
Okay. By what percent will tuition increase for in-state students for the 2013-2014 academic year approved by the Board of Trustees last fall?
Was it 6%?
5.1%. Close. All right. This one is, who's the Associate Vice Chancellor for Campus Enterprises?
Is that Dr. Tom McAdoo?
It is Dan Adams.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here are the easier ones. Who is the Chief of Police?
That'd be Chief Mormon.
Jack Mormon. That's correct. Who is the Dean of Chats?
Dean of Chats? I don't know.
Jeffrey Braden. Okay. A lot of us in technician know. Who is the Provost?
Be Warwick Arden.
That's correct. Great. So that was just our little trivia round, just to loosen us all up. If there are any questions from those of you in the audience, we can hand off the microphone. We have a few more minutes to do questions from the audience, and then we'll do our final round of the candidates making their cases. So if anyone wants to come up, I can give you the microphone, and you can pose a question for the entire panel. Any takers? No one from the peanut gallery? Don't be shy. All right. Well, I guess that does it for that round. So we're going to start with our outros, and I'm going to give everyone a minute, and we'll go, I guess, opposite direction. Dwayne, Lauren. All right, Dwayne.
My entire time here at NC State has been a great time. I have grown as an individual, I've matured more, and I've learned how to connect with my fellow peers and students. And I found my love here at NC State to be serving others. And as student body president next year, that would be my main goal, serving others. I would not do it for me, I would do it for you. Everything I do, every single day, every minute, every hour would be with students in mind. And I love NC State, and I'll hold it dear to my heart forever.
Thank you. Lauren?
All right, so I may not be in student government, I may not have the biggest signs on campus or the most money, I'm going broke now from this campaign, but to buy giveaways to try and sway your votes. But I am a peer, I'm a student, I love the institution, I've been involved and I've been servicing NC State, giving my own time and dedication since my freshman year, since day one. I'm a genuine person, I honestly care about students, and if I didn't, I wouldn't be sitting up here against two student government powerhouses right now. But my platform is simple because I understand the job, I'm prepared for the time commitment, I'm a dedicated person, and I honestly just want to hear student concerns and be able to represent you to the best of my ability next year. Thank you.
Thank you. And you, Matt?
Well, I just have to say that not I, but my team has really worked hard on this entire campaign. And we've just worked really hard to make sure all student voices are heard and continuing to hear voices every day. And we are running a Students First campaign, and we would run a Students First student government next year, making sure that everything is always taken care of. As that legacy student, my love for NC State runs through my veins every day. Even after my mom graduated and we didn't have that much, she always made sure we saved up enough to come to homecoming. Our family is NC State, and I will work hard every day to make sure that this university, that I put everything in it for this university, because this university is me. It's my life, and I just want to make sure that we're able to preserve it for the future. Thank you.
All right. Well, that concludes the event. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Awesome. Thank you.